Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, February 11th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Q's. A lot to get to. We'll be recapping all three of these indices charts. Really poor finish on the week for all the major averages. We go out with a double distribution day in all three of these indices. Two sets of single prints for SPY, ES and Qs and NQ. Russell goes out with one. SPY and Triple Qs with another price probe to the downside. It seems like this market is probing almost every day, one way or the other so far in 2022. Dramatic change from what we were looking at yesterday to how we closed. Yesterday, we were attempting in the morning to take out the previous week's high. Bullard comes out with that statement. Boom, we go out, flush out. And then today, we're trading inside the day's range, not really getting any traction. Value was overlapping to lower at one point. It ended lower on the day. And then all of a sudden, people, again, for my money's worth, the market was pushing lower. Finally, even though we took out the IB and D and E, finally, when we got below yesterday's low, we got a good flush and the market went trend. Now, I know people are blaming Russia, invading Ukraine. Again, we all know that's on the table. Here's the deal. The market's incredibly short right now, short term. Right? Yesterday afternoon, last night, this morning, today. Now, the shorts have a lot to lean on. We have two sets of single prints. So the shorts aren't worried yet. But if all this is a little frenzy over possible surprise rate hike next week or Russia invading Ukraine, if that doesn't come to fruition, guess what? At some point, you might get a vicious short covering rally. But for now, shorts are in control. Had a good day today. Actually got on board these shorts finally in the afternoon. Did a lot of trading. Had one huge trade in F, which I escaped with my life, which we'll go over. So I shorted A period today. Yes, against value low from yesterday. Excuse me. 453 puts. Did well on that. Then I was getting, the market wasn't telling me anything in B, C. D, we made a new low on the day, took out the IB low, but there was no tempo, so I took 446 calls. When we went back up, I took 451 puts because we were one time framing down. So I was trading, tried to trade the ebb and flow with no tempo. Now F period. E makes a new low on the day, but doesn't get much. F opens. I'm saying the shorts aren't getting much. Maybe we stop one time framing. Well, we did. You can't see it here, but F did take out E. And then it pulled back. I'm like, I think they might want more out of that. So I started a long of the 446 or 445 calls. Was that the big long? I'm just trying to see if that was the real long, the big long I took. Yeah, it was. So that was. I thought it was the 445s. I wrote 446s. Either way, I'll look later. It wasn't a good trade. I started it. I increased it. I thought if we get back to the 20-day moving average at the time, it may hold. Well, I got upwards of over 300 of those calls. Was getting hurt. It did rally. Got back above the 20. Never got to F's high, but it got back up high enough in F and G, and then G started to get me out and not only take back everything I was down, but actually made money. But not a smart play. I period. Didn't do anything when it initially went down. I did take a long against the lowest accepted price, 441 calls. I got a bounce off of that. And then I started shorting it, looking for puts against H's low with 445 puts, which I took. Same thing in J. Every time it pushed up a bit, above 443, I took a put play against the single prints, and because we were below the 200-day moving average now. Not the 20, but the 200 now. And I did that a couple of times. K period, I took one quick long against the weekly low. I thought we were going to have an inside week today, this week. Well, we took that out. So I took a call play against the weekly low, 438, very small. And then in L period, I took shorts against the single prints and the one-time framing down of the 445 puts. So it was a really good day overall. But again, that long play in F was not the smartest play, and I was fortunate. Destinations for Monday. We probed again. K's low, 439.43 price probe. 2 sets of single prints. First set start at J's high, 443.91. Get filled at 445.68. That's a pretty large set, and the 200-day moving average is in the middle of it. Second set starts at I's high, 445.76. Get filled at 446.39. G's low. Afternoon rally high, F, 448.67, and today's high of 451.61. Downside, today's low is now a weekly low, 438.94. And again, please write all these down so I don't go over them again Monday. Then we have 437.83 price probe from the 28th. Right, we had a very large price probe when M really spiked up. So base of it, then we have 9 wide from that day, 435.62. 431.83 afternoon pullback low from that day also, January 28th. That was a big range, $14 range. And then 427.82 daily low. Now, let's go. And as far as the other one, same thing. They both have double distribution days. Now, let's go to their charts. We're starting with the Russell. Here's their monthly. The Russell's down, right? Came out of a huge balance to the upside back in November, failed. Now we've come out of it to the downside. So far, it's been accepted pretty good. The monthly is down on the Russell. So far, inside month, a third of the way through, but it's still down. Weekly is a little interesting. Weekly came into balance last week. And this week, we actually took out last week's high. Now, do you want to call this up, or do you want to call it a 4-week balance and wait until we see if we could take out this weekly high? Again, it's subjective. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. For me, I'm going to call this, I think, still, maybe I'll call it balance to up. How's that? Because if we take out next week's high, this week's high next week, again, you want to take out this one, but then you'd probably be up. But if we take out this week's low, you're definitely going back to balance. So you can either call it balance or balance to up, whatever you prefer. And then on the daily, it's down. We went up on Wednesday, gapped out of a balance. Thursday put us into balance with an outside day down. And Friday takes us down. So monthly is down. Monthly is down. Weekly is balanced to up, and the daily is down on Russell. Triple Qs. Monthly is down. Inside month again so far, third of the way through. Weekly, balance. 2-week balance. Okay? Last week we came into balance when we stopped the one-time framing down. Now, just because we took out last week's low this week, I'm going to call this a 2-week balance for now. If you take out this week's low next week, I'd probably go down. But for now, it's a 2-week balance. And the daily, clearly, down. So monthly down, weekly balance, daily down. SPY, NES. Monthly is down. Okay? We had an outside month down this last month. Inside month, a third of the way through. Weekly, balance. It's a 2-week balance. We almost took out last week's high yesterday, and today we take out last week's low. So it's a 2-week balance. Come out of it to the downside, the weekly will be down. Come out of it to the upside, the weekly will be up. Daily, down. 4-day balance, gapped higher, go up yesterday. Even though we gapped lower, closed it, came into a 2-day balance, and now we are firmly down. And all three of us, I believe, are below all of those averages. I think Russell closed below theirs also. No, actually, Russell closed above the 20-day moving average by 20-something cents. Other than that, all three of us in our indices are below the 20, 50, and 200. So, market ends, again, not a disastrous week, But considering where we were yesterday and where we closed, bulls can't be too happy. Thanks for the likes and subscribing. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Stay safe. Come check us out at CamelbackTrading.org, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.